Thanks for staying with us. You know, Wednesdays, we love to talk business, to learn from each other. So we're having on the show now is a digital consultant, Sheun David-Onamusi. He will be discussing how to safeguard the future of the nation through sustainable growth in technology industry and how to explore the untapped resources and opportunities in this sector. You can join the conversation on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweet. Welcome to the show, Sheun.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So one of the things we'd like to discuss on Wednesdays is the fact that we have a lot of young people who want to JAPA. They just want to leave the country. You left 2009 after youth service, I believe. And many people want to be like you. Say, let me even go first. Don't tell me that I shouldn't go. Let me go first. After that, I can now decide like Sheun to come back. But let me go first. But in your view, what are the opportunities in technology, especially, that young people can tap into within Nigeria?
Okay. So within technology space, there are a lot of opportunities. There are processes that we are used to having, right? Yeah. One that comes to mind is you have people who are moving away from just making phone calls to your tailor and creating apps so that you can have your measurement on an app and then your tailor takes the order from the other end and then create your designs for you, right? Yeah. You have people who are using 3D technology to create shoes, where you have an app, you just create, you choose the style of shoes that you want, you choose the texture, you choose.
Really?
That's actually my business model. So I'm talking about my business model. But you basically you choose the fabric, you choose the sole, you choose the heels of the shoes, all through technology, right? And gone were the days where you just have to take a screenshot of a picture of a shoe that you want and send it to someone. But that's one example. There are other people that are looking at improving different business processes. So there are a lot of things, right, that you can actually improve and move away from the traditional way of doing things. And that, in essence, creates jobs from an IT point of view, but also it makes it much easier to take, customer orders for people as well.
That's an interesting business model. I mean, I think I'm even more interested in what you do exactly. But let's learn more about. Let me come to somebody else. Go ahead.
So I'm a believer in technology. I feel that technology makes our life easy, and we need to explore the options. And I see that there's always the complaint that there's no job in Nigeria. I don't agree, but how can young people leverage technology without anybody? Because, you know, the average person watching doesn't have a connection. And they want to create job for themselves, and they all have a phone. So I want us to get practical into what can we do with this phone as a young person, technology-wise, and earn money from it. What are the options available that you have heard of?
Okay, sure. I think the easiest one is content creation. And content creation is not just about videos on TikTok and Instagram. Content creation, there are companies outside the country who are looking for content creators, marketing content creators, who are good with words. So you can use your phone to sign up on different platforms and start to create content as well. There are applications out there that allow you to just put in 1 or 2 words, and then it can create your blog in 5 minutes. Using artificial intelligence. I'm not going to plug their name, because they're a US company, but there are applications like that. There are quite a lot of them. So you don't even have to be skilled at writing.
You just need the information.
You just need the information. Once you get your bullet points of what you want to talk about, you put it into the application, and then it spits out the different options. And you can choose your tone of voice as well, if you want to be professional, if you want to be friendly, whatever way you want to, if you want to be funny.
Give me that name,
I need to get it too. I'm doing that because it's really interesting. Yeah. So you can just create a blog by doing that.
Absolutely. You can start your own blog just by doing that.
I'm the last person to ask this question, but what is the purpose of a blog? I mean, I get people just say, I have a blog, and I'm thinking, what exactly is it? Just put stuff on the blog and people to go out there and read. People actually go out there to read. What's the objective of having a blog?
So it's one of the key sort of marketing strategies that organizations outside the country use. Right. Because what happens is you have a ready funnel of individuals will come to read your blog post. And once they come to that, they come to your website on a regular basis, you can either use there's something you call click-through rates that you can use for marketing purposes to make money as well. You can sell their data, you can sell their IP address and things like that. So there's quite a lot from a business standpoint. Right. But from a user point of view, I think it's more information. Yeah. We all want to be part of a tribe. We want to be part of something. We want, it's almost like cognitive dissonance, where we are always looking for information that resonates with us, right?
So not all of us want to be part of anything. Yeah, I just want to have fun. Mm-hmm. So, so we just, without any deliberate intention, I'm a member of anybody's tribe now. Mm-hmm. So what exactly is the digital world about? Is it just the apps, the dancing apps for Instagram or singing apps, whatever? What exactly, how wide is it? How limited is it? Where exactly are these, apps and all these measures that you're using? What can we remove? What can you control?
I don't understand the question. I hope you did.
As a digital expert, from now you have talked blog, you have talked app, you have talked creating, marketing. What exactly
She's confused.
This thing about? And I know that a lot of people like me
who
would
a
rather
native.
not be in any of these things. You just want to be safe.
Yeah.
Because there's some dangers there.
Sure.
Because there's some dangers there. So please.
So the way, it's a good question, because I get asked that when I'm consulting for people, and they say, come here, you're digital experts, we want digital transformation, we don't know what this thing is about, what exactly is it? And I go there, and my easiest way of explaining it is taking analog, what you're doing currently, and making sure that you optimize it for the technology space. So all you're doing is, before now, we used to have gossip. People would gather around and gossip under the tree or somewhere else. Now we have a Linda, or we have somebody else that is going to do the gossip. So it's pretty much the same thing we do offline that we're doing digitally now. It's the same. We connect with people. We go to groups to connect with other individuals. We go to networking events, but now you can network on social media. We used to entertain ourselves. Sometimes growing up, they used to call us kids, come and dance for the adults, right? Now kids are dancing for the world. We have to be careful, of course. So it's really just taking what is known and transforming it into this digital space.
Let's bring this conversation. Okay, go ahead.
So I want to add to what she's saying. So I understand her perfectly, and I know that the fear of the unknown is what is scaring, especially most parents, because sometimes these young people do not know where to draw the line. Now, how do you encourage young people to use the tools for something meaningful, something more productive, something that will pay them, as against using the tools for just fooling around and wasting time?
Absolutely. And that is a global problem. It's a global problem when it comes to the digital space. And what I would even want to encourage the tech space of Nigeria and very young enterprising tech entrepreneurs is start to create platforms that are kids-friendly. Start to create like web apps that are kids-friendly, that the parents can shut down on their own phone. I mean, there are applications like that you can install on your child's phone, and you can monitor what sort of activity is going on. But the web browser as a whole is not all optimized for that yet. So I will encourage entrepreneurs in Nigeria, because that could be a good space for us to really address these issues, because they are big concerns. They are really...
Okay, let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing with our guest, Sheun. You left Nigeria in 2009. How did you come about your own company? So what exactly made you come into this tech business?
Okay. So just a bit background. I actually left in 2003. And then I did my university in the UK. And then I came to do my NYSC.
Oh.
And while doing my NYSC, I opened up a TM Lewin franchise in Abuja and ran that for 3.5 years before then moving back. To answer your question about moving back and also business, I got into the digital space by, I think, coincidence. You know, it wasn't planned. I was in the fashion industry. I've always had my own business. I had an image consultancy, you know, worked with, you know, high-profile celebrities in the past. But the digital space attracted me because I started to see what we can do with this technology. Technology in itself, just like everything else, right? It has its good and it has its bad. And I saw that technology helps to make life much easier. I mean, from mobile phones, for example, right? Back in the day, we had to go to a shop, you know, to try and make a phone call. Now we have our mobile phones. We can talk to anybody. We can text anyone. We can have a video. You don't miss out from birthday parties. Even if you can't be there, there's a Zoom party that you can join. So technology really helps a lot. So I went into that space for that specific reason. And also, I'm a strategic thinker, so I wanted to find an opportunity to bring strategy and make sure that if we are talking about digital and we're talking about technology, we do not remove the human elements. That's why I'm always concerned about the human elements. How is this impacting the people? What exactly is it doing to the people? And that's my focus as a consultant as well.
Sheun, you know, we really haven't tested. How long has this started? We really haven't tested this. Recently, I read an article on one of these payment solutions, and it was called the sinking sand, you know. And this is one of the ones that I would not like to mention them here, but this is one of the ones that we think, it's highest paid, their staff and everything is well structured and all of that. And this payment solution, the article exposed certain, you know, certain defaults in their structure. Where are the legitimate earning strong digital solutions? Where are they? And what are the risks in, you know, trusting? Recently, crypto to done. What are the risks?
Yeah.
How safe is it?
So I'm not a crypto expert.
That was just an example.
And when we talk about this payment platforms, what I always say as a consultant is technology is good, but it's a tool. You have to look at your processes. You have to look at your ethos as a business. You have to look at your culture. You have to look at how your greed appetite is, right? Because at the end of the day, if you take a thief and you send the thief to Harvard, you've only taught the thief to be an educated thief. That's all it is. You know, that thievery will still be there. So at the end of the day, technology itself has to be wrapped around culture, has to be wrapped around the human elements, right? So that you can, I mean, in crypto space, there are a lot of people that have gone in there, right? And it's a lot of, you know, it's like a pyramid scheme in my view sometimes, right? You know, but it's greed that is driving a lot of people. It's not actually the value that crypto can do, because digital currency can help to balance financial impropriety. So, for example, you can create millionaires quicker. You know, unlike before where you had to, paper was the way to define your value, your financial value. With digital currency, you can actually create millionaires much easier. You know, so it can balance financial impropriety.
So I think that you're an entrepreneur. It's definitely, that's your wiring. And many times I always try to understand what spurs people into being entrepreneurial. How do we engage people to be more entrepreneurial in their thinking, as opposed to saying, I'm looking for a job? And what would you say was that thing for you? How did you start the TM shop? Why did you decide to do that when you finished from school, as opposed to getting a job?
Be a privileged kid, you know.
I'm far from a privileged kid. My secondary school was in the Anokpaja in Abeson Estate. I fondly say I have this accent so that they won't collect their passport from me in the UK. so I was born in Ijebu-Ode, so I'm typical. But what spun me into entrepreneurship? My grand-aunt who raised me in Surulere, she used to send me to the market at the age of 9 to go and grind chin-chin. And then, you know, we would come back, we'll sell the chin-chin, we'll fry the chin-chin, puff-puff, we'll sell it outside the house. When I went to school, I mean, before going to school, I saw that as trading. I saw that as surviving. Yaoni chin-chin. That's all I saw it as. But when I went to school and I started to learn that there is no difference between that, my grandmother, and a Richard Branson. The only difference is that Richard Branson has learned the strategy, the skills, the art and science of multiplying his skills, of making sure that he can scale his business, you know, in that sense. And that's where entrepreneurship can come in place. And I'll bring it back to the government, because we have to bring it back to the government. I feel like in Nigeria, we don't have universities that are teaching entrepreneurship.
No.
This is a curricula. It's something that you can go in and get a BSc in entrepreneurship. We need to have that. We need to have entrepreneurship centers around the country. We need to start putting that into schools so that people are not going into school thinking immediately, I need to get a job. They can go into school and know that I'm going to start a business because I've learned customer evaluation, customer problem solving. I've learned all these key things.
The ASU president was addressing an interview recently, and he said, when they talk about entrepreneurship in Nigeria, Nigerian government will now say, we have skill acquisition center.
No, but you see, skills, you see, but we do this. I remember the deputy governor saying something recently, Lagos State deputy governor saying that when it was, I think it was either working for, not Ashwaju, as a minister then, that they wanted to do the link bridge, the planning to put the foundation of the link bridge, and they said they had to bring in 70 workers from Togo to come and lay the piping or the wiring or something like that. He now said, no, we'll train Nigerians. Yes. So they stopped the project, went to train these 70 people to do the wire cabling and wiring for 6 months. Then the Nigerians did it. That's a skills acquisition that they're saying. Now, these ones were hired by all these multinationals because they didn't realize how on demand these guys were. Yes. So now these guys are earning like ₦1 million, like monthly, like this. They're making serious money. So skills acquisition, don't underestimate the power of skills. I just said it's part of it. But
so how does that? But really, let's talk about it. How does that, translate to being an entrepreneur? You have a skill.
Having a skill.
Having a skill is just, it's a different thing. But if you don't know the business side of it, does that make you an entrepreneur?
Yeah. And I always say there's a difference between side hustle and entrepreneurship. Side hustle is about surviving. Entrepreneurship is about wealth creation and impact making. When you see an entrepreneur and they sit and they talk to you, they are talking about wealth creation and impact. What change can we bring to this particular process or industry? That's how they think. A sole proprietor would probably still think from a side hustle point of view that, you know what, I just want to survive. And once you are in that space, you are not an entrepreneur yet. You are still a side hustler.
Let me take Yakub, then I'll come to PC. Yakub, are you there? Are you live?
I'm there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
And good morning to your guests. Mariah, I think it is better late than never to Nigerian government to understand that technology has come to stay. I heard your guest mention crypto earlier, if I don't make mistake. It is only Android and then iPhone that can give you a weapon at your comfort zone. But I can tell you, as far as I'm concerned, the crypto that he mentioned, do you know that now some of us into it, whether they like it or not, this time around, you can even have a card that you load it with crypto and then you change it to fiat money anywhere in the world. So basically, it is only your Android phone in your hand. Before you know, if you get a right information as your guest giving to us this morning, a right information at your desk, at your hand, and then you utilize it very well, it can turn you into a billionaire at midnight because what you just need is the right information. Do you get it? And then I also ask your guest a question because I didn't say that you know the school. The school that you are talking about, are you teaching about digital economy or digital wealth or just entrepreneurship? If it is all about digital economy, I think I would like to send my daughter there. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you.
Digital economy. Have a student
digital economy with entrepreneurship.
So when we talk about the digital economy is The way I look at it is, economy is that umbrella, right? Entrepreneurship is sort of the handle that you're holding to, to make sure that you're covered. So it's interrelatable. It's hard for you to talk about economy without talking about entrepreneurship. It's hard for you to talk about the digital space and technology without talking about digital economy and digital entrepreneurship as a way.
Yeah, so sorry, I have to take you back just a bit. When you were talking about, leveraging on this digital economy, talked about how we can infuse culture. And I know that the Nigerian government have been looking at how do we sanitize the internet? How do we make laws to sort of restrict certain things because of what has been happening? What would you suggest will be the way forward? Because I know that Nigerians, we like to jump into things without, counting the costs, so to speak, or looking at the implications on our children and the society. Do you think the government is right in trying to make a move to sort of censor some places that we get to in the country?
I think it's a wrong discussion. I think the real discussion should be creating networking opportunities for entrepreneurs to share ideas. Okay. When they share ideas and they start to implement those ideas can help to curb the issues on the internet. It's been known, anywhere you use prohibition as your strategy, your key strategy, it multiplies. So people will find VPNs, people will find other ways to bypass whatever restrictions you're talking about. So prohibition is not always the best way forward, especially in a very diverse country as we live in. We're not fully conservative as a nation. We are both conservative and liberal in the same sense, right? So in that space, I think it should be more conversations around bringing people, entrepreneurs, technical experts, technology experts to discuss on how we can curb those issues that we see on the internet, because there's always a technology that can help.
Okay, I have to wrap up with you, but I need you to give a message to young people who are listening to you right now, who feel like, listen, this digital space is a bit saturated. Everybody's doing this. I don't know where do I fit myself. So I'd like you to just say one or two things to them before we wrap up with you. Okay.
I'm not sure if I can plug, but just reach out to me. Let's discuss around it. But there's so much. There's a lot of opportunities. I looked at those Mekayas, for example. There are opportunities there that you can use technology to help them much better, because every one of them have some level of a smartphone that they use. Text messaging can be used as well. So there's a lot of opportunities within that space. So what I would say is, don't give up. Just make sure that you study. Go on YouTube, use YouTube as much as often, learn coding, self-teach yourself, and then you can, tap into the opportunities there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sheun, for joining us. That's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.